Hi everyone, welcome back to another session of Flow Builder series. So today we are going to talk about record triggered flows. Till now we have only covered screen flows and auto launch flows. So in this session we are going to talk about record triggered flows along with some examples so that you'll have a better understanding of how it is executed and what are the use cases or what are the requirements when you will actually go for record triggered flows. All right, so before we get started, let's have a look at the agenda. So we'll talk about what are record triggered flows in Salesforce, and then we'll also talk why and when to use it, and then how different it is from Apex triggers. And I've listed down some scenarios that we'll talk about, and we'll also go ahead and implement those scenarios. All right. So the first question is, what are record triggered flows, right? So if you guys remember, in screen flows, everything that was actually getting triggered was via screen, right? You will create a screen, you will provide some fields, or you will fill in some details, and that is how it was getting actually executed, right? And in auto launch flows, if you remember, we were calling auto launch flows from a process builder, right? So when you actually want to call your flow from somewhere else, then that was coming in under auto launch flows. But in record trigger flows, let's say, if you're doing any kind of DML operation on the records, let's say, insert, update, or delete, then you can use record triggered flows, right? So you don't have to create a screen, you don't have to call your flow from a process builder or somewhere else. But what you can do is, the moment you are doing anything on your record, and you can write a record triggered flow, and as per your condition or criteria or requirement, you can actually write your logic, and as per the operation that will happen on your record, your record trigger flow will get fired. So for example, let's say I'm creating an account, right? And on the account insert, I also want to create an opportunity the moment account is inserted, right? So what I can do is, I can write a record triggered flow, and I can provide if there are any preconditions, and that condition will actually your flow is going to check everything, and the moment it realizes or it finds out that an account record is created, it's going to create an opportunity for you as per the logic that you have actually implemented in your record trigger flow. So anything that you're doing from the record, it could be either insert, update, or delete. And if you want to perform any kind of operations before or after the save, you can actually do that using the flow. Okay. So okay, so before we move ahead, let's just have a look at this. So if you guys have worked on process builders and workflows, then there are a few things that you would already be knowing, but I think I would just reiterate all of those things. So for example, if you're working on a process builder and you have a requirement, then there is nothing that you can actually implement in process builder, and that will get implemented before you're saving the record, right? So for example, when you're inserting an account, right? So in process builder, all you can do is you can write the logic, or build the logic if anything has to happen after the record is inserted or the record is saved in the database, right? But if you want to perform anything on the before insert, your process builder will not actually be able to, it's not efficient enough to do it, right? There are no options available, and the same thing goes for workflow. But then in flows, in lightning flows, you can actually do it. Okay. So if let's say, if again, on the same example, let's say if you have an account, and before you're inserting the account, you want to check if there is a shipping address or not on the account. And if the user is not providing any shipping address on the account, then what you want to do is, you want to pick everything from the billing address and then pre-populate on the account's shipping address before you actually hit on save, right? So that is happening before the save, right? You're checking the logic and populating the value before the commit is happening to the database, right? So that kind of logic you actually can implement in flow, because flow gives you an example of executing before and after events, right? But these things you cannot do in process builder. And then again, when coming to the delete, same thing goes for update. Okay. Then when we actually talk about delete, the same thing happens, that in process builder you cannot actually do anything on delete, but in flows you can. All right. So this is just a highlight of the things that you can actually do in process builder and workflows, and the extra stuff that you can actually achieve in lightning flows. So here is, this is basically the order of execution, but only in terms of Apex triggers, flows, workflow, and process builder. I have not included anything else here, validation rules or system validation, any such thing. So let's say, if we talk about the same example, let's say account insert, right? So the first thing that is going to get checked is your before insert flow, if you have written any flow on before insert, that is gonna get executed first. The next thing is gonna it's gonna check apex trigger if there is anything in the before insert context, right? So it's gonna go and execute that part, and that is after that only it is going to save the record in the database. And once the record gets saved, everything again kind of gets executed again. The compiler will again go to the trigger and check that if there is any logic in the after insert, is going to execute that. It's going to check the workflows. If there's anything which is supposed to happen after the record insert, then it's going to check that workflow, and it's going to execute that. And then it will check the process builder, right? Same way, anything that is written in the process builder, that is why, right? Anything that is in the process builder, that happens in the after save event, right? And not in the before. And at last, it's just gonna check that if there is anything in the after insert of flow, right? Like in short, in anything that is in the after after save activity, that is gonna get executed, if there's anything in the flow. So this is like a very short highlight of that. I hope you guys have at least got the basic idea of why the why before save events are not available in process builder, because this is how it is built, and this is how the execution happens. It doesn't check process builder in the before event, okay, before save event. So let's just go to the scenarios now. So here I've listed 3 scenarios. One is for before save, other one is for after save, and then we have something in the before delete. So in before save, let's just discuss it quickly, and then we'll go ahead and start implementing this. So here, when account is created and no shipping address is provided, then copy the billing address in the shipping address, right? So the same thing. Okay, before we actually go ahead with the implementation, there's another thing that you need to understand, okay? That how do you basically decide that your logic, if you want to write your logic in the before event or the after event. So let's say in this example, right, we are talking about populating accounts billing address into accounts shipping address if the shipping address is blank, right? So basically you are trying to make the update on the same object record, right? So you are on account, you are creating an account, and you want to keep take the billing address and then stamp it on the shipping address, right? It's the same account. So let's say that you don't have an understanding of before and after event. So, and you end up picking the after save event, right? So let's say if on the same scenario, if you pick after insert, right, or after update, then what will happen? So basically, when your logic is running in the current context, right, and you're working on the same object record, right, it's the account, and once you hit on save, your record goes into the read-only format, okay? So you will not be able to make any edit on that record. So that is why if you want to pre-populate or do any kind of population on the same record which you're trying to save or update, you need to consider the before event, because if you consider the after event, the record goes into the read-only mode, okay? So anything if you want to do on the same record, then you have to pick the before event, okay? But let's say there's anything which you don't want to do on the same object. For example, let's say when an account is created, you want to send out some notification, right? So, or let's say you want to create an opportunity, or you want to create an associated contact, right? So that is called cross object implementation, right? So in that cases, what you can do, you can select the after event, right? Because let's say if I'm creating an account, and then once that account is created, I want one opportunity to be automatically created and associated to this account, then I will pick the after event. Why? Because when I'm creating that opportunity, I also want to associate that opportunity to this particular account that I've created, right? So if I include this logic in the before event, I will not have the account ID, right? Because the account is not saved yet. So that is why I will pick the after event, right? So here in this particular scenario, all we have to do is we have to check if there is a billing address provided on the account. While insertion or update, you can select any both the operations if you want. And if there is no shipping address provided, then we are going to stamp the billing address on the shipping address. So that's the whole requirement for this scenario. The next one is create an opportunity whenever an account is created or updated with rating as hot. So let's say when a user is creating an account and he's keeping the account rating as hot, and the moment he saves that account, your one associated opportunity should be created, and that should obviously, like, that should be related to this particular account. So if you go on the related list of account, if you go to the related opportunities, then you should be able to see that auto generated opportunity that will get created by your, like, flow, or, like, whatever the logic that you write. So and see, this is why we are, like, choosing this particular this requirement to get implemented in the after save, because when I am creating my auto generated opportunity using my flow, at that point of time, I would want the account ID, right? Because I would want to associate that opportunity to the account that I am creating, correct? That is why I'm choosing the after save event. And then we'll also take this example wherein we are going to basically send out a notification whenever an opportunity is deleted. All right. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'll move to my org and we can start with scenario number 1. And again, we are going to execute all these 3 scenarios using record trigger flows. All right. So let me move to my org. All right. So I will go to flows. So I'm already on flows, but if you don't know how to navigate to flows, you just have to type in flows in the quick find box and click on flows. So once you're here, you need to click on new flow and then select record triggered flows, because this is the one that we want to execute. So here on create, here, because we want to, we are talking about account, right? Populating accounts billing address on the account shipping address. So it's in the object, we have to select the account as object, and I'm selecting when the record is created. You can choose, like, as per your requirement. If you want to execute the same thing on update or even on create an update, then you can select whatever you want from here. And here you can give any initial condition. Let's say you only want to execute this particular flow when, let's say, account rating is hot. So here you can select something as account rating equals, let's say, hot. Okay, so when account rating is hot, then only you want this flow to get executed. So I am setting up some entry criteria here. And then here, if you see, there are 2 options. This one is for before event, and this one is for after event, right? After save event. So the condition that we just talked about, we are going to update on the same record, right? On the same, because we are creating the account or updating the account, and we want to make the update on the account itself, right? That is why we have to choose the before event. So before event, and then click on done. All right. So now we have to do the assignment, right? That we want to actually assign the billing address to the shipping address. So I will just pull out assignment here, and here, let's say, billing address to shipping address. All right. And here, so, okay, one more thing. So when you are executing your before event, right? So your flow is going to keep your current record details in this variable $record. Okay, so anything that you actually want to access, and you want to access, let's say, if you want to access any field values or anything on the current record that you're working on, that you haven't saved yet, that is gonna get stored and it will be available with record variable, okay, dollar and record. So this, and I want to assign, I want to provide values to the shipping address, right? So you guys would already be knowing that shipping address or billing address, they are compound fields, right? So I cannot directly assign dollar record dot shipping address equals to billing address, right? I have to break down the compound fields, and I have to assign one by one, like, city, street, state, country, that way. So here, so I can see here billing city. So let's start with billing city, and it should come from our records. I need to assign the shipping address, right? So shipping city, and it should come from billing city, right? So record, and then billing city. All right. And likewise, you have to assign other values as well. So record dot shipping country, record dot billing country, And then let's just assign other values. Let's say postal code. Right. And I think there is also something called street. So shipping street. Building street. And then let's assign state as well. Billing state. All right. So we have assigned the billing city to shipping city, billing country to shipping country, and then postal code to postal code, billing street to shipping street, and billing state to shipping state, right? And then click on done. And we can just connect these two, and we are done. Okay, so we have the entry criteria. When the account rating is as hot, then only this flow should get executed. And once it enters the flow, it's gonna do this assignment, the one that we just defined, right? And I'm going to click, and we have also provided the condition that whenever a record is created, so we have to create a record to check, in order to check if this flow is working or not, because we haven't set it for the update, only on create. So save, and address. Okay. All right. And then let's just activate this. Now I'll go and check this out. So we are going to create a new account record, and we will keep in mind the entry criteria that we have to set the account rating as hot in order to make the flow work. So let's just click on new rating. Let's just edit it hot. Found from flow. All right, and let's just provide the billing address. Okay, and we are going to provide only the billing address, and we'll keep the shipping address as blank, so that we can check that if all the values from billing address is getting populated to the shipping address or not. Okay, so shipping street, let's just say second, maybe street, city as postal code, sorry, state, postal code, country, and that's it. Okay, I'm not going to provide anything on the shipping address. It should actually pick from the billing address. So I will hit on save, and then we can check if the values in the shipping address is getting populated or not. So this is saved. And here it is, right? So we had provided the billing address, and if you see, every value got populated into the shipping address, right? So this was the first scenario wherein we were making use of the before save event, before record save event, and we are just simply doing an assignment on the same record. And we did that in the before save, because if once the record is saved, and if you try to provide some kind of assignment or try to do any kind of update on the same record in the after record save event, it will not get implemented, and rather it will give an error saying that the record is in read only mode, right? So this was the first scenario. Now let's go back and check what's the second scenario. So second scenario is after save. Create an opportunity whenever an account is created, updated with rating as hot. Okay. So now we know that this particular scenario we have to execute in the after save, right? Because when we would be creating opportunity in the flow, we would need the account ID, and account ID will only get after the record is saved in the database, right? So let's just go ahead and implement this. So I'll go back to the flow. Click on new flow. record triggered flows. And again, this is also an account because we are going to implement this in on account creation or updation, right? So account created or updated. And then entry criteria is account rating. Should be hot. And so in this one, we are going to select the after record save event, right? Because we would be creating a opportunity and we would need the account ID, and that is why. So click on done. Okay. All right. So now we know that we have to create the opportunity, right? So we will drag this out, create record, and create when account is created or created. All right. And here I want to create only one opportunity. Okay. And I want to give the values by my own, and object would be opportunity, right? Because I want to create opportunity record, right? So one more thing before actually randomly assigning the opportunity values, you should know that, like, when you're creating an opportunity, what are the values that are actually required from the database level. So if I actually go here and let's say I want to show you opportunity screen. So if you click on new opportunity, there are basically three fields that are required. So opportunity name. So when you're assigning the values in your flow while creating an opportunity, you have to provide the required fields. So the required fields are close date, opportunity name, and also the stage name. Okay, so these three values you would have to provide along with the account ID, because you would want to associate your opportunity to the account that you would be working on, right? So let's just go back to the flow. Here I'm going to give the opportunity name, and then hold on, this should sorry. Okay, so name, we can give the name as the account name. Okay, so account record dot name. So basically when I'm auto generating the opportunity, I'm providing the account name as the opportunity name. That's all I'm doing here. So name, all right. And then the second required field was close date. So close date. So here either you can give custom value, right? I can directly, like, hard code the value, or you can also, like, create like a formula field and provide, let's say, today's date. So for example, let me create another variable. Okay, API name close date formula. Data type should be as date. Okay, and this should be formula, right? Okay, all right, and close date formula, right? Date data type should be date, and here you can provide it as today. All right, and then click on done. So this is how you can write a formula in order to provide it, or you can simply give some value, such as you can hard code it. All right, so sorry. So it's your choice, right? The way, like, whatever value you want to keep, and however, where you want to fetch it, you can do it, or you can just hard code it. So opportunity name, close date, and stage name. So stage name, and I'm providing the stage name as, let's say, prospecting. And then along with these three fields, I want to assign the account ID, right? Because I want to associate this opportunity to the account that I would be creating or updating, right? So here on opportunity, there's a field called account ID, and this will come from the current record that we are working on. And currently where we would be working on, we would be on account, right? Either we would be creating the account or updating the account, and where that current values you'll have that in the dollar record, right? So record ID, right? So Here it is, account ID. Okay. And that's it. That's all. And we can click on done. Let's just associate these two things and click on save. Creation from prompt and save. We'll activate this and go and check this out. So, okay, so I have included my condition even on update, right? So let's just first start with the creation. So I'm going to create an account and I'll keep the rating as hard because that's my entry criteria. And let's say ACC1, okay? And here, the moment this account gets created, there should be one opportunity that should get auto created with this name, right? Account name. And that should also be associated to this particular account, right? Whatever is getting created. So let's just click on save. So you can see, right, this opportunity got created and this was the stage that we had given on opportunity creation prospecting. And this is the date that we had hard coded, right? And also if you see this opportunity is related to this account, that is where we had given the account ID. So if I go to this opportunity, you can see the same account field, like the same account getting populated over there as well. So this is the account, right? So this is working on create, right? Now, when we talk about update, there are a few points that you have to keep in mind. So let's say if I go back to the account, like I'm on the same account, right? And my the rating of the account is already hot, right? So now I have set the condition that whenever an account is created or updated, I want to create an opportunity, right? I have not mentioned what is being updated on the account, right? So no matter what update I'm making on the account, it will create an opportunity. For example, let's say if I'm just providing the phone number, and if I click on save, then it should create another opportunity here. Okay, click on save. And here it is, right? But we don't want this to happen. Okay, we only want to, in case of update, we want to check if the rating is getting changed, right? If the rating is getting changed and if it is getting changed to hot, then only we want to create an opportunity. Otherwise, we don't want to create the opportunity. Otherwise, with every update, no matter what field you're updating, it is going to create another opportunity, right? So let's just go back to the flow and see how we can do that. So here, okay, so rating and also is changed true. That means that if somebody is updating the account and they are changing the rating, okay, if they are not touching the rating, they are not making any update on the rating, then it should not be creating the opportunity. Okay, so two conditions. I want these two conditions to be true in order to get the flow executed for update condition, right? So if the rating is getting changed, if is changed for the rating is true, and if somebody is changing the rating to hot, then only this should get triggered, otherwise not. Okay, so let's just click on done. And we need to save it as another flow, save as, save. And let's just activate this. Okay, now if I go here, so let me first change this rating to something else. Let's say one. Okay, so now, so if as per my condition, it says that if your rating is getting changed and if it is getting changed to hot, then only it is going to create an opportunity. Okay, so let me change the rating. So for now, we have two opportunities. If I change the rating to hot, and if I click on save, then it should create an opportunity. Look, it did, right? But now let's say I'm not changing the rating and I'm changing something else. Let's say I'm providing something in this, or let's say if I'm changing the phone number, any other change, on any other change, it should not create the opportunity. Okay, click on save. And you can see that it is still 3, right? Because it is not meeting the criteria. So it is not creating another opportunity for you, right? So this is how you can implement any after record save scenarios in Flow. Now let's just go ahead and look at the third one. So the third one is when an opportunity is deleted, send out a notification. Okay. So every time somebody is deleting an opportunity, you have to send out a notification. That could be to anybody, right? Let's say the opportunity owner, and it can also be to the account owner of that particular opportunity, right? So let's just go ahead and see how it can be done. So in order to execute this scenario, we would first need to create a custom notification, because we would have to, like, create a notification and keep it ready so that we can use it in the flow. Okay, so first of all, let me just click on new flow and record triggered flow, create. And here it's going to be on opportunity, right? Because when the user is deleting the opportunity, that is when we want to send out the notification, and when the record is deleted. Okay. And you can, again, like, here also you can set some condition. For example, let's say you don't want to send out the notification on every opportunity delete. You only want to send out the notification on opportunities which are, like, let's say lost. So here, for example, if I keep the stage name as close lost. Okay. So close lost. So if there's an opportunity and the stage is close loss, and if that is getting deleted, then only you want to send out the notification. So that kind of criteria you can set over here, right? And this is fine. This, it only works in, like, in the before context. So that is why we don't have two options available over here. Click on done. Okay, and this is fine. Okay. All right, so now we need to create the custom notification. All right, so I will go here, and in the quick find, you need to type something as custom notification. And I'm going to create a new custom notification here. Notification for op deletion. Okay. All right, and you can select anything here and save. So I have created a notification over here, right? This is my notification, but this is an object where I have created the notification, right? So if I want to use this notification, then I have to query this notification in the flow. I cannot directly use it, right? For example, if you guys remember, then in the last flows that, like, if you want to, like, fetch all the opportunities or accounts related to any other record, then you have to basically query, right? Get all those records. So similarly, if I want to use this notification, I have to, like, query these notifications in the flow, right? And let's see how that can be done. This is not this one is the flow. Okay, so let me just use the free form. So I can use get records. Okay. So get notification records. Sorry. Okay, and here object is custom notification type. Okay, and here in the condition, you can basically query the notification that you have created, right, using the developer name. And this is my developer name for the notification. I'll go back here, and here developer name equals to this. All right, so this get record is going to give me the custom notification that I've created where the developer name is this. That means it is going to return me this particular notification. All right, so here it is, not sorted, only the first record. Yeah, if there are multiple notifications, then you can choose multiple, but this is fine. And this is, we are good with this. So we will get the notification here. All right, now what do we want to do? Once we get the notification, we want to basically check that when the record is deleted, we want to send out the notification, right? Now, as you have the custom notification, now you have to also get the recipient IDs, right? So if you actually, I want to show you something. Let's say if I start using the action, right? And if I, let's say, custom notification, send custom notification, right? So here, if you see this particular block, right, recipient ID, so it expects you to provide a list, right? you might have only one recipient ID, but you have to send it as a list, right? So that is why we are going to create another variable, another resource variable, right? And we will collect the opportunity owner ID, or let's say like we'll also keep the account owner ID, and we will keep that inside that list so that we can assign that particular list to recipient IDs. All right. So that is why before we actually implement that action part over here, let's just go ahead and create that ID. So I will basically assign. So in assign, recipient IDs, get recipient IDs. Okay. And here I want to create another variable. Okay, here variable API name is recipient IDs. Okay. And data type would be text and allow multiple values. Okay. And done. All right. And this recipient IDs, I want to add the opportunity owner. And so opportunity owner, where will you get it from? If you remember, dollar record, right? Because opportunity is the record where we will be currently working on, right? That is when we want the trigger to, sorry, the flow to work, right? So we will either be, we will be on opportunity basically, right? So that you will get it from record. So dot owner ID, owner ID, all right? And also if you want to get the account owner ID, so recipient IDs collection variable, and you can also add inside this list. So in order to get the account owner ID, you need to go to the opportunity first, and from opportunity you need to get the account ID, and from the account you can get the account owner, right? So here record, then account, this is showing the hierarchy, right? So owner, and then owner ID. And that's it. Okay. So basically this list is going to store the opportunity owner ID and also the account owner ID. Okay. And then we'll click on done. So, all right. So here, what we did, we got the custom notification that we have created, we queried it. And we have also created a resource variable where we are storing the opportunity owner IDs and the account owner IDs. Now we can go ahead and configure the flow. So here, send custom notification and label notification deletion. Okay. Here, and then custom notification type ID. So this custom notification type ID, you will get it from the, so when we have queried the custom notification, it will have different attributes, right? Or like, different information available when we have queried that particular object record, right? Custom notification object record. So the field that we want is the ID. So we want the ID of this particular custom notification, right? And in order to get that ID, we have to first get the records that we have queried for custom notification, right? So, and this is the record that we have queried, right? So we used get record component over here from here in order to query the custom notification type that we have actually created, right? And from that record that we would have received from that get records component, from that there we want to fetch the ID of that particular custom notification. So select this and dot, you should be getting the ID somewhere here. So ID, custom notification type ID. This is what I want here. Custom notification body, right? So here either you can create another resource, and for example, let me create a formula. Okay, so formula and notification body, because when I'm sending out the notification, I also want to mention that which opportunity is getting deleted, right? So notification body and data type would be text. So here I have to get the hold on, opportunity name. Okay, opportunity name, and you have to use this something like this. Sorry, hold on. Okay, plus, and then here you need to say is deleted. Okay, so it will basically show that this opportunity, it will give the opportunity name, and then it will say is deleted. This opportunity is deleted. Okay, and click on done. So this is your notification body, and in the notification title, you can simply say that opportunity is deleted. And then recipients IDs, recipient IDs, we have created a resource variable, right, where we are storing the account owner and opportunity owner IDs, right? So you can simply get that recipient IDs, right? And that's it. And you can click on done. And you just need to save this and notification and relation. Save and then activate. Okay. So the email that I'm using here, I'm not logged into that. But if you actually go to an opportunity, and if you delete that opportunity, the email would be sent out to the owner of the opportunity and also the owner of the account. So this is the owner of the opportunity. So whatever email is configured for this particular owner, it's gonna go, the notification will be triggered for that particular owner. And also because we have stored the account owner, right? So if you go to the account, so whatever you have in the account owner, the notification will be sent out to that particular account owner as well. Okay. So this is how you can basically implement any scenario that you have for on deletion, before deletion. So if we go back here, so this so I know that it was not a very complex scenario, but we can I'll be basically jotting down few more scenarios bit which are a bit more complex and not a very straightforward scenarios, but then which are you would need a little bit more brainstorming in order to understand and then think step by step that how to execute those scenarios. So I will be creating another videos based on scenarios wherein we'll discuss different scenarios or use cases for all these kind of events that I've listed down here, so that you'll have a better understanding that when to use. I think you already got the idea when to use what. The only thing that is pending is to practice more and become more efficient depending on the the requirement complexity that you'll receive, and you would have to write a flow for that. All right, so that is one thing that I would be creating more videos on these scenarios related to these. And also we'll be covering the other two kind of flows, the scheduled flows and also the platform event flows in upcoming videos. So till then, keep practicing and bye bye.